Troy Donahue was once the very image of Hollywood's golden age, handsome, polished, and adored by millions. But behind that golden-haired smile was a far more complicated story. One of fame, heartbreak, reinvention, and secrets that would only come to light decades after the camera flashes had faded. And perhaps no secret was as explosive as the one he revealed near the end of his life, naming not one but two fellow male actors from Hollywood's golden era with whom he shared romantic relationships, all hidden under the harsh spotlight of a world that demanded perfection and punished authenticity. Born Merle Johnson Jr. on January 27, 1936, in New York City, Donahue's life seemed promising from the start. With a corporate executive father and a mother who had once graced the stage, creativity and ambition flowed through his upbringing. He initially pursued journalism at Columbia University, but the pull of the silver screen proved irresistible. Like so many dreamers before him, Donahue headed west to chase stardom in Hollywood. Once he arrived, Warner Brothers took a keen interest in him, rebranding him as Troy Donahue and molding him into the clean-cut romantic hero of the late 1950s. His big break came in 1959 with A Summer Place, where he starred opposite Sandra Dee in a now iconic film that captured the angst of young love caught between clashing generations. The film was a cultural sensation, and with it, Donahue became a household name. Throughout the early 1960s, he starred in a steady stream of romantic dramas: Parish, Susan Slade, Rome Adventure, and Palm Springs Weekend. His image as the sensitive, soft-spoken dreamboat was cemented during an era when America idolized youthful optimism. His face was splashed across teen magazines, and the fan mail poured in by the thousands. But like so many icons, Donahue's fame came with a shelf life. As the world moved into the more turbulent, complex themes of the late 60s and 70s, Donahue's all-American image began to feel outdated. Hollywood evolved, embracing grittier characters and antiheroes, leaving little room for the clean-cut roles Donahue had once dominated. Work dried up, and he found himself slipping into obscurity just as quickly as he had risen. With fading fame came darker struggles. Donahue battled addiction and financial ruin, and at one point he was homeless, living out of his car, a devastating contrast to the life of luxury he once led. But even in his darkest hours, he was not without resilience. He entered recovery and became an active participant in Alcoholics Anonymous, eventually achieving sobriety and rediscovering a sense of self far removed from the glossy image he once portrayed. He made small comebacks in later years, appearing on TV shows like Chips and The Love Boat, and even embraced his past with a cameo in John Waters' Crybaby. Nostalgia conventions welcomed him with open arms, where fans, young and old, would share how much his films had meant to them. Through it all, Donahue remained humble, reflective, and surprisingly open about his past mistakes. His personal life, much like his career, was marked by instability. He married 4 times. His first wife, actress Suzanne Pleshette, shared sizzling chemistry with him both on and off screen, but their whirlwind romance lasted less than a year. Before that, he had been engaged to actress Lily Cardle, whose breakup ended in scandal when she filed a lawsuit accusing him of physical abuse, an incident that chipped away at his carefully cultivated public image. Donahue's second marriage to Valerie Allen also ended in divorce, with allegations of cruelty emerging. His third wife, Alma Sharp, offered a break from the limelight, but their marriage too crumbled, burdened by his ongoing battle with addiction. His final marriage to Vicki Taylor in the late 1970s was brief, shadowed by emotional distance and instability. Despite repeated attempts, Donahue never found lasting peace in his marriages. Later in life, however, he formed a quiet, more grounding bond with opera singer Jing Chao. Though they never married, friends say their connection brought him stability in his final years, something he had long craved. There was also another revelation that shocked even longtime fans. Donahue fathered a son in 1969, Sean, but didn't know of his existence until many years later. When they finally met, it had a profound emotional impact on him. For Donahue, reconnecting with Sean offered a rare chance to heal a part of his life that had always felt incomplete. But the most deeply buried truth didn't emerge until the 1990s, long after his fame had dimmed. In hushed interviews and private conversations, Donahue admitted something he had never dared to speak of during his prime: During the height of his stardom, he had romantic relationships with men. Specifically, he named two actors, Anthony Perkins and Rock Hudson, two of the most iconic stars of their era, both similarly forced to live behind a mask. Donahue described his relationship with Perkins as tender but painfully secretive. They had met at a party during their early days in Hollywood. Donahue was the sun-kissed heartthrob, while Perkins was celebrated for his intense and complex roles. Despite the obvious spark between them, they were constantly under threat of being exposed. "We'd drive out to the coast late at night," Donahue reportedly recalled, "just to sit in silence, to be somewhere we could exist without pretending." He spoke of Perkins with deep admiration and sorrow, acknowledging the impossible choice they faced between love and survival. He also spoke, more cautiously, about Rock Hudson, the masculine ideal of 1950s cinema. Donahue never claimed they had a full relationship, but there were moments, he said, that passed between them, brief flashes of connection that spoke volumes. "We were living the roles the world gave us," he said, "and behind closed doors we were just men, afraid, lonely, and desperate not to lose everything." These weren't revelations made for shock or publicity. They were reflections from a man who had finally come to terms with the years he spent hiding his truth. Donahue's confessions offered a rare window into a Hollywood that demanded its stars be perfect, heterosexual, and endlessly photogenic, regardless of the cost to their real lives. When Donahue passed away on September 2, 2001, after suffering two massive heart attacks, he left behind more than just a legacy of film. He left a story of survival. His first heart attack came on August 30th, while at his apartment in Santa Monica. Though emergency surgery initially gave hope, a second heart attack followed soon after. Surgeons attempted a bypass procedure, but his body, weakened by years of strain, could not recover. He died at the age of 65, surrounded by those who had loved him not for the image, but for the man beneath it. The outpouring of tributes reminded the world that Troy Donahue wasn't just a teen idol. He was a symbol of the hidden truths so many actors of his generation carried silently. By choosing to speak, even late in life, he helped pull back the curtain on a system that cost so many their identities. In death, as in life, Troy Donahue stood as both a relic of Hollywood's most glamorous years and a brave, broken soul who finally found the courage to be seen.